Guys, really, this whole summer, our number one thing is get big and physical. Coach Reed downstairs has transformed our bodies. Also, this summer, the number one thing is be a better football IQ guy, be a smarter player. And I think our guys have done a great job with that in the summer leading up to fall camp. Getting into fall camp is now, what identity will we have? Are we gritty? Number one, is there toughness? Is there a mindset? Is there relentless effort? Okay? That's what our whole thing's going into this fall is about. And most importantly, do we have depth? We have some depth. We do. We're about one or two guys away from being three deep. But I tell you what, the competition in the D-line room is incredible. It's fun to coach. Fun to coach, and I think the one thing, and you guys, and I'm gonna say this: we've hired Lee Stalker. Lee Stalker is our pass rush coach. He's done a fantastic job. Lee Stalker played for Coach Haycock and Kent. I had a chance to, through coaching, like all defensive line coaches, we're together. I had a chance to follow his career and watch what he's done as a defensive coordinator, as a defensive line, as a linebacker coach, and knew that, man, he can add value to our program. I've been trying to hire him for years and years and years, and we finally got him. And he's came in and done a really good job with the fundamentals of pass rush. And over the summer, we've gotten better, gotten really better. So I can start with questions.
How does Kennard Snyder fit in that equation?
Yeah, he's twitched up, man. He's twitched up. And what you don't realize by Kennard is he's almost 265 pounds. Like, he's a thick guy. But what also Kennard has brought to us is competition. He's made all those guys on the edges better, just with the competition portion of it. And he's learning. So Kennard has had, when he was at Louisiana Monroe, he's had 3 or 4 different position coaches. So he hasn't really honed in into his true fundamentals. And now as we working through camp and he's starting to grab some of those fundamentals and the coaching, man, he's gonna be a problem. He's gonna be a problem. And most importantly, he plays with incredible effort. So he's a great addition to the room. Man, I'm so proud we had a chance to go out and get Kennard. Obviously, Zach Lovett and Kennard with high school teammates, that connection there. So we got a chance to feel his culture and who he was, his character. It fits right with our program.
Looks like a lot of your guys have versatility too. You've seen T.O. can go inside, be really good on the edge. You know, Dom does what he does. It seems, I mean, how would you describe the group as a whole in terms of its versatility and also guys that are emerging to go along with Kennard on that edge?
I tell you, that's a really good point. Through the years, some of our guys that have gone off and played, that's the one thing that has helped them to stay, is that they can adjust, they can adapt. I think it's hard when you got T.O. to the boundary on one play, and then on third down he's lining up as a zero nose. Man, that's just different. So through the whole game, we want to provide different body types, different types of styles for every offensive lineman. So we challenge those guys to, number one, learn the concept. We just can't learn being a 5 technique to the boundary or field. Man, I got to learn all of them. Our guys have done a really good job. I'll tell you right now who's playing really good football is Ike Azuga. Man, he is outstanding right now. He's emerging and coming along. Joey Peterson's our senior. has playing really good football now in the fall. He's now developed into a little bit of finance rusher instead of more of a bull rusher. He's getting on the edge, so he's taking that coaching. Trent Jones is challenging every guy. Trent Jones has a very high football IQ. He can play the field, he's played the 3, and he's played the nose. He can stop the run, and now he can rush the passer. So he's pressing Kennard, right? You got Joey and Joey and Ike is pressing T.O., all right? We got this battle going on the inside with Zamir Hawk, who is now coming in with a different body type than JR, Dom, and now you got your quickness and your attitude and effort guy. He's coming along. Young guy to keep your eye on here, Elijah Carnell from Bishop Gorman. Kid's 6'5", he's 290 right now. He's very, very intelligent. He is moving the needle, and he's going to play our interior nose. He's going to move the needle and challenge some of those guys on the inside there as well. Great question.
To go back to Kennard, you mentioned all the different position coaches he's had. He's only played D-line for 1 year, right? I mean, how much?
He's been like a stand-up guy to a 5 technique. When he was at Monroe, he was an every down guy. You know, we maybe thought, hey, he can come in and provide some pass rush, but after going through and really studying all the things he's done over the years, he's a good every down guy. He's a good every down football player. So he's done a great job with that too.
Dominic had talked about how last season he focused on developing some of his maturity. How have you seen that process develop?
It's still a work in progress. It's still a work in progress for me. Man, I'm a poke and pry at it, man. I'm a try to at the situations, man. I'm gonna challenge their mindset because it'll happen on Saturday. And I want to see in our thing that's on our board right now. The number one quote on our board is "Don't let tomorrow beat you twice," which meaning that, man, the law of progression is like that. If I have a blip, I got to let it go and keep going. So Dom last year would get in his head, and that thing would be 3 or 4 plays in a row where he's not great. So he's really stressing himself to, man, I understand what I did wrong, next play. Let me focus on my next play. And that's with all our guys, our entire defense and its hold. It's been really good at doing that, but that's what we're focusing on.
Going back to Kennard, he's someone who doesn't have great length, at least visually. Height-wise, he's not the tallest. His arms maybe not the longest. Yeah. But you mentioned his twitchiness.
Yeah.
How important is it for someone who maybe doesn't have the height or the wingspan to be quick off the ball and have the quick twitch ability that you're talking about?
Yeah, its takeoff is really dynamic. He's an explosive kid. The thing that, because he's vertically challenged, most of our tackles are 6'8" and 6'7". Man, around the Big 12, we got these great tackles. Well, that's when you got a guy who's at that size and quick, now you have to punch down. These guys are punching out. You have to find him down here, and that becomes difficult for tackles with length, right? Now, he's going to get into you and knock you back with some pads and get his hands on you and those things like that, but he's got the ability to get off blocks and play fast.
How receptive to your coaching have you seen him be, Kennard? Just because he's had a winding path to getting here, one that he feels like he's overcome a lot, I know.
That's a really good question. I think it's not so much of my coaching, it's the standards of our defense. Sometimes through different position coach, you kind of lose what are the true standards of the defense. Because Coach Haycock and I have been here for 9 years, we understand the standard, and he does too. So the standards are what matters, right? So I can hold Kennard to the standards, and he's going to respond, right? He's a good kid, man. This guy's a really good kid. So he's not a guy who's going to be disrespectful in any of those ways. He's going to take coaching. He came here for a purpose. He wants to get on a big stage and do things. So he knows he's got to grab the coaching and go to work on this thing. So he knows what he's up against, and he knows his timetable's short. He's got 2 years to do it. So I better come in here and listen and get what's going on and understand the standards and go to work. And that's what he's done.